I'm Bily Foster and I'm that iPad guy. Called that because I've almost always got an iPad with me, and in some cases, two. Today we're talking about the Amazon Kindle event. This past Thursday, Amazon held their Kindle event, and they've taken their first real shot across the bow of Apple in the tablet wars. Here's a breakdown of how the tablet wars have been playing out. Microsoft tablets have been crap. Some were nice tries, but they never really hit their sweet spot and broke into the mainstream. People even really didn't care about tablets until Apple launched the iPad. And of course, people flocked to it. People who never used computers were now connected, but the system is closed and some people feel limited and restricted. And then Android came along with the promise of being open. Android was quickly picked up by the anti-Apple techie crowd, and while they've been boasting about Android, there really hasn't been a device to really challenge the iPad. So where's the war? Well, we've got this little civil war going on over in iOS, where people want more from their device and are removing the walls and safeguards that Apple has put into place, known as jailbreaking. Now, there are a variety of reasons of why people would want to, so they could get the phone on different carriers, so they can access different parts of the OS, so they could do more. Whatever the reason, this is a part of the audience that could be open to switching to Android. In the meantime, Apple's audience continues to grow in both camps. Android's tablets, on the other hand, have been slow going. They've had some cool tablets built by Samsung, Acer, Dell, Asus, even Motorola, but nothing that could really break the barrier into the mainstream. So, no real challenger to the iPad. I'm sorry to the Android faithful. Also, none created by Google, the company behind Android. So we can consider these little localized wars fighting for the love and faith of those willing to dive into the marketplace. And then, last year, along came Amazon with the Kindle Fire. And they've taken Apple's approach to Android. You see, they use Android as a base, and then they tweak it and specialize it into their own closed little system, to the point where they don't even say that it's Android. Their little 7-inch tablet proved that there's a market for the size. The problem, while the Kindle had the right price point, its sluggish system was a little bit of a turnoff, and so the Kindle's sales slowed a little after the initial bang. So, jump to summer of this year. Google, teaming up with Asus, finally releases the Nexus 7 to rave reviews, despite some quality build issues. Well, anyways, it's also their first real push for the Google Play Store, and with it, access to apps, music, movies, books, and magazines. And this is how the game changes. You see, Amazon's Kindle Fire, as I reviewed it when it came out last year, is a direct link from the products and services that Amazon provides to your wallet. And now, with a newly refreshed line of tablets, they've thrown down the gauntlet in front of Apple. In fact, I'd go as far as saying they're not even really selling you a tablet anymore. Selling you the whole ecosystem. And the tablet is just an outlet or a vehicle to bring you access to all the great systems that they've built. And they're going to do it at rock bottom prices. You see, what's happening is instead of getting into a contract like you would with a cell phone, Amazon is going to make its money by selling you a book, a movie, an app, a magazine, a song, everything that you purchase and download. And they really hit a home run with these features that are only available on the latest Kindle Fire units. X-ray for movies, books, and textbooks. Now you might be wondering, X-ray? What am I going to X-ray? I'm not TSA. Well, Amazon's version of X-ray lets you explore deeper into the content by providing you information about how often a character appears in a chapter, or what other movies that an actor's been in, or additional music by certain performers, additional information so that you can see where things are. And by leveraging their ownership in IMDb and Audible, they can connect you to information in ways Apple can only dream about. IMDb to link you to additional movies about an actor in a film that you're watching, And then you could even get a copy of one of those additional films without even needing to leave the movie that you're currently watching. Or with Audible to link you to an audio version of a book you're reading. So now, for example, let's say you're reading your favorite Twinkle book and you're running late for work, but you've got to find out if Bella is going to stay with Edwin or not. Now, you can purchase the audiobook, have it pick up exactly where you left off while you hop into the car and jaunt off to work. And then once you get to work and you get onto your first break, go back to the book and pick up exactly where you left off. All that thanks to WhisperSync for voice and books. And that's just the start of the ecosystem. Amazon's WhisperSync started in books originally, then spread into movies, which made sense, and now into the audiobooks and even into games. And what they're really proving is that these tablets are just access points into a larger system that saves your data and the state of where you're at remotely into the cloud, so that when the time comes for you to either replace, upgrade, or maybe even just switch devices, you don't have the hassle of starting all over or trying to keep everything in sync. This is a theory that's been a dream of Apple and Google for a while, but no one's gotten it quite right just yet. Amazon may have beaten them to the punch. Amazon has also overshadowed Apple by providing a fully featured and linked up ecosystem. Google is years behind. Even Apple's video app feels outdated by providing just the information of who's in a movie. Not even simply providing a link to the iTunes store for a search seems like a huge marketing oversight, one that I assume is going to get fixed pretty quick. But remember, all is fair in love and war. Google's only defense is to not provide their apps inside of Amazon's App Store. However, there's a theory that they could just be side-loaded onto a device. Once I get my hands on one, I'll give it a test and let you know. And now we have the battle lines drawn. Amazon realizes that this just isn't about specs, it's about the user experience, which is why they've tweaked Android to the point that they have. Sure, it's really simple, but simple means that anyone can use it, and that's exactly what Amazon wants. Now, what does this mean in the long terms? Well, it means Sony better hurry up and get their system up and running. Google needs to start ramping up their content, and Microsoft is risking it all on Windows 8. And you? Well, if I were you, I'd hold out and wait. We've got Apple's event coming up. Amazon tablets won't even hit the streets until October, and I'm sure by the holiday season, we'll have a clearer picture of what the best options are going to be. But it sure is going to get exciting over the next couple of months. Will Apple blow them out of the water with an iPad mini on the 12th? Or will it wait and launch an October surprise during the typical iPod refresh event? Only time will tell, and of course, I'll be talking about it. So that wraps up another episode of That iPad Guy. Thanks again for watching. Be sure to like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, circle me on Google+, and visit thatipadguy.com to subscribe. See you next time! Did I do that?